So we're going to talk about script orientation now. In an ideal world, in the very near future, script orientation will be performed by a select number of trainers sitting in this room right now. Like for each person that was selected on like a weekly basis, they will do one of the 4 or 5 scriptos that might happen in a week for either knives or slicers. And it would be a conference call that the entire nation connects to. So it'll be, is so-and-so here, is so-and-so here, is so-and-so here, is so-and-so here. You'll just have an email that Rick sends you with all these names. You'll make sure all the names check in. Great, you mute them all, and then you just go. And we're going to have a whole kind of breakdown of what points you need to hit and how you need to say it. And you're just going to do the whole nation all at once for slicers and the whole nation all at once for knives, and it's probably going to happen twice a week. Okay? That's how it's going to go down. Until we get there, I'm just going to give you a little bit about script O, and this is kind of like a little bit of, hey, start your own script O's. Get your own jive going, because we're not exactly there yet for the national conference calls. But till we get there, we want you to be making the most out of the recruits that we have for you. And the way to do that is to do the script out. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the script, we're losing people at the script too. We're losing people at 3.5 pages, not double spaced, and they're going, I'm never going to get there. And we break it down into beats for them, and we break it down into paragraphs for them, and we do all the work, and we think it's easy, because how many scripts do you have in your head right now, Adler?
A lot.
How many products do you know?
With this company, I know that he's...
No, how many products do you know?
Oh, wait, 7.
Yeah, 7. How many products do you know, Tondi?
All of them.
Yeah, okay. How many products do you know, Yan Yan?
7.
Okay, I'm at 7.
Yeah.
Like, if I handed you a script now and said, this is the bubble butt, Dustin, go learn the script and sell it.
You know the bubble butt.
Yeah, you're like, I already got the bubble butt. Like, I got it down. You'd have to like memorize some parts of the commercial and you'd
How
be
much
good.
does it cost?
Yeah, exactly.
How much does it cost?
Yeah, what's the jam like? All right, we're doing the bubble butt now? Great, I got it. Like,
It's free bubble paste with the bubble.
so, yeah, oh yeah, it's coming out right now.
Thank you.
Okay, but the point is, they haven't seen anything like this before. The You Want Ones alone, some of these training, people are putting down the script when they read the grind. And they're going, what the hell is this? You want one, I gotta remember all these You Want Ones? I'm never gonna remember it, all that just like that. Now, we know it's not like that. We know it's organic, and you say that you want one's a certain way for a certain thing. That's just an example of the script is. And we can't tell them that, because then they think the whole script is too loose. See where I'm getting at? So we can't say, oh, it's organic, you do whatever you want, because then they'll learn nothing, and they'll just be like, oh, I can improv the whole thing. I said do whatever you want. But we also, it's hard to say, go learn it verbatim,
Right.
and then have these people freaking out. They're like, okay, so this is so there's 2 You Want Ones here. And then I say it's for $39.99, and then there's 2 more You Want Ones, and then I say you get the personal slicer, and then there's 3 You Want Ones, and then I say you get the peeler. Like, there are people that are going to do that and then just give up.
Yeah.
So, how do we convey that you should be learning this verbatim, but that it's easy to do? We tell them to learn it verbatim, and then we give them a script orientation. Okay? And what the script orientation is going to do is it's going to break down the script, give them the tools to memorize. More importantly, it's a touch point with new training. It's the first touch point you have with your new training. Because another thing that's not being streamlined is the handoff between recruitment and Nikki Roberts and us as managers and trainers. And I've just watched it happen over and over again for the past 2 months straight. It's like watching a bad football play. It's like watching a fumble right here at the handoff every single time. Like just doing a standard dive play up the middle, but every time it's like, oh, the ball fell, oh, the ball fell, oh, the ball fell, oh, he dropped the ball again. Like,
Can you make it a train reference?
could you?
The car became uncoupled, as Mr. Hogan said.
Yes.
The conductor forgot to stop at the local stop.
You guys have to understand, I want to make sure as a company, as managers, you understand we've known about all of these issues for a year. We have. Before this conference and before Q4 ended, we didn't care because we had a goal and we had a job to do. To put 100 people on the streets Once I had 100 people on the streets, the floodgates were open. And that's what you are witnessing here in Vegas. This is what you're part of, what those 100 people opened. And you all are part of that 100 people, except for the few that we just brought on. You guys have been here for 2013. And you're allowing Peter and Mr. Coffee to roll out what they're rolling out now, and to make sure that you have the systems and the processes in place. Because now it is a big deal. Because now the company has opened their wallets, and they've opened the floodgates and said, whatever you need to do the job you need to do, you have. Where we didn't have that before 100 people. Because before 100 people, we were a crock of shit. For real. Think about it how it really is. It's about results, it's not about words. We showed the results. Each one of you showed the results. You're here, we're here, they're able to do this, I'm able to be here because of what you've done. 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 So just know that's why it is now, and that's why the potholes are being fixed. That's why the road crews are coming out right now. They're putting the safety cones. Right now, while you're in Las Vegas, they're in your city and they're mowing the lawns.
Not my city.
New
York's
not
got
New
so
York.
many potholes.
So many bottles. You guys see where I'm going with this? Now is where we've got the money to fix the potholes. Now is where we have the systems in place. We've all had it this whole time. We just all had to prove who we were. And we proved who we were, and now we are who we are.
So, are you handing out the scripto sheet?
Yes.
Great, so you're going to find on this sheet, you're going to see that middle section is the most important. A well-conducted script orientation includes an example of what to memorize first and why. Does anybody know what we want them to memorize first? That's correct, Ethan, I heard you first. Why? Most important.
Look in.
Thanks, Simon. It is the most important thing. If they don't have their clothes completely memorized, and they have it down pat, and it's the thing that's in their head the hardest, then they won't be able to say it confidently in front of people. So that's why you memorize your clothes first. And that's what you can say. The clothes are talking about money. You have to be able to say this confidently. You're going to be a little shaky on your script maybe, but if all else fails, you have to know this. Not only that, but like, the close is the one thing that you really can't mess up verbiage-wise. There's a huge difference between you take this home for $39.99 and we're going to give you this. Very different from if you guys buy this deal here for 40 bucks, then we're going to throw in this other thing over here. Right? It's the same thought, but oh God, did that just hurt your ears? Because it hurt my ears. It hurt my voice box saying it. Versus, take it over here, you know, how many recipes call for a chopped onion? All of them, right? And a lot of recipes got onions in them, don't they? Not very much different. Like you can kind of get away with a lot of people eat with onions, right? You ever cooked with an onion before? Okay, great. Like, the other parts of the script can live in a world, we don't tell trainees this, but the other parts of the script can live in a world where, you know, it's a wishy-washy sort of thing. As long as you got the general idea, you're sort of there. And we're all living proof of it, because I promise you right now, if we just blind picked 4 people and told them to do the same section of their slicer script, they'd all be different. Every single one.
Yeah.
Would be, even like a little bit of it, they'd all be different. But I bet you money that if we picked 4 random people right now and put them up here and said, go ahead and do your turn ceremony, they would all sound exactly the same. They'd be like, now, these are usually $40, and we can't cut that price, but what they're letting me do today, while we're in the store, is you take home your yada 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 for $39.99. It would all be the exact same thing. That's why we're all in the room right now. That's why they need to memorize that stuff first. And that's why you need to plug. You must memorize this. You must have this in your head.
And if there's anyone here...
Especially for these people here. Because they're going to freak out. You're going to start me on Monday? I've got to memorize my script? No, baby. We're doing you the favor. We're doing you the favor because you have 7 days to memorize the script. So you have till Friday to get the whole script down. But what I need you to memorize before Monday is just that first page and a half, or that last page and a half. That's what I need you to have before Monday. Because if you get that down before Monday, I bet I can start making you money on Tuesday. Meaning I can get you pitching. And how many of us here think that if someone came in with their clothes completely hard cold, but nothing else memorized, who here could get that training pitching in 48 hours? If the close was completely down, 110%. Every single person in the room.
Always the clothes.
Okay?
Which brings me to my big point that if this close is that important, that it's that important for you too. So I suggest that once this conference is over, you do take a look at the scripts that are out there and the closes that are out there before Mr. Roccaforte or Mr. Coffee come to your market. Because if your close isn't dead on, they're going to pull you off the box and pull you out of the position. It's just that simple. I didn't say that for the script. I said it for the close. Because it's that important. Because trainees can't see anyone else do anything other than what we're teaching from this point forward. It's just the way it has to be. It is what it is. Because their videos, their audio CDs, and everything that they're putting together are all going to be based on the propaganda that we have currently now. And it is a continuation of it.
Cool. So that's why I memorized that. Memorization techniques. You know, a lot of people that we're hiring are just like marketing. Like, I got a marketing degree. I got a business degree. You know, and I didn't want to work in an office, so I figured I'd do what you guys do in Walmart. And maybe being asked to memorize 3.5 pages like that is a little more intimidating than it would be for a Dustin Karat, who's like, yeah, I'm a professional actor. I can do that in my sleep. Thanks. Have a great day.
Very intimidating. Very intimidating.
So that being said, give memorization techniques. Recording. This is all the stuff you should read. Recording. Audio and video. Recording yourself in the mirror with video. Recording yourself audio and then
Can you just start over?
recording.
Oh, that's the first one?
Yeah. That's okay. We're here in the room,
And
Stacey.
then we had a video.
I'm up here. Rick's right next to me. Chad sometimes talks too. No, it's all right. It's all right. I did. Memorization techniques. That's the thing I said before.
Okay, well, I didn't
Okay.
miss that 'cause I was writing.
I got you.
The title's memorization techniques. Then it's audio/video recording the singular word.
Repetition. In both speaking it aloud and writing it down.
In both speaking it aloud and writing it down.
In both speaking it aloud and writing it down.
In both speaking aloud and writing it down.
And if you write it down, how should it be written?
By hand.
Forwards. Backwards and forwards.
I need it backwards.
When you write it, do you print it or do you do it in cursive? It doesn't make a difference.
I don't know.
French.
Print only. If you write it in cursive, the human mind is not seeing it the way that you've been taught to see things as a child. Therefore, when you're writing the script out, it must be print only, no cursive whatsoever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Learn
Statistics
something
prove
new
we're
every
used,
day. That's cool.
we're used to
Yeah,
seeing
every
words
day.
a certain way in front of us. Look at the sign we're saying. That's how you're used to seeing words. That's how you were taught. If it's scribbled, it's a bunch of chicken scratch. You know what it says,
Yeah.
because you wrote it. But no one else does, and your human mind is not seeing it the same way as it was taught when it was a child.
It won't be photographed in your
Correct.
in your mental memory. Cool. So visual audio recording. We have writing things down, repetition, and another form of memorization, the one that I use the most, is outlining. That's my big one. Tell them to find the thoughts.
Yeah.
Find the thoughts. You know, they get so hung up on each and every little word that's about to come that they don't know any of the thoughts. If you just get them thinking in basic, like, this is this thought, and then follows this thought, and then follows this thought, and then follows this thought. Like, what are you going to do after you slice the apple? We're going to do potatoes. What about after potatoes? What happens next? We're going to do celery. What happens after celery? Onion. What happens after onion? Tomato. What happens after tomato? Cabbage. Great. You know the slicer pitch. Good job. That's it. The slicer pitch is apple, potato, celery, onion, tomato, and then scalloped potato and cabbage. That's the slicer show. Hey, you all did it in 7 words. But it's because you outline the thoughts. And then you can go, then if they know the outline by heart, they can go back and flesh out the rest, going along the script alongside of it. But if they don't know what they're saying or where it goes next, they're always going to hit these places where they're just like, So outlining is a huge one. Yeah, exactly, exactly. For the knife pitch, it's, you know, guaranteed tomato, hammer, wood, tomato.
Guarantee Larry.
Yeah, don't forget about
Brad.
Larry.
Larry, don't forget about Larry,
Why would
sorry.
guarantee Larry's being
Guys, okay, so outlining the script for the trainee beat by beat is a really important thing.
Another important thing is to let them know not to just sit in one spot and
I was
memorize.
just getting that.
Good.
So now, being,
Orange.
being mindful of the three types of learners, the visual audio, and repetitious learners. You know, are you a visual guy? Do you just like watch and then you take photographic memory pictures of things, and then you're like, okay, I know it. Are you audio? Do you have to like fall asleep to yourself hearing it? Like Dustin, how many times did you listen to my knife pitch that I recorded for you before you learned the show? I don't even think. Did you even print out the script?
No.
No, you just learned
I
audio.
read it through once and
Okay.
then I
And then
listened
some
to it.
people need to have that script in their hands and just repeat, which is the way I am. If I'm going to learn a script, I got to sit and read and go, okay, and then go back and read it again. All right, but you have to be mindful of everyone's learning style and give them options on how they can access each one. Hey, if that's not working for you, try this. Hey, if that's not working for you, try that. You don't need to explain to them, you may be a visual or audio learner. You just got to be mindful of the fact that everyone's going to learn something differently, and you need to know all those concepts and use them accordingly. In addition to that, if they are repetitious learners, or if they are like people who are going to read through it and then go through it in their heads, tell them to go to different places to learn it. Because I don't know if you knew this, but if you memorize everything in your room, when they go into the store with you, they will not remember anything. Because the mind has connected the draw of the script to the colors and objects inside their room.
Wow.
But if you challenge them to memorize part in their room, part at a Starbucks, listen to it in the car while driving, because all your visual is changing the whole time, and you're going to pay attention to something different as well, which is the focus of driving. So your mind, it needs to be more active on that, which means this is secondary. So if they can memorize that way, then when they make it primary, it'll memorize even easier. Does that make sense?
So that's just their like if it's audio.
What's that?
That if it's audio.
As no matter what.
State
That's,
specific memory.
these are, yes, state
State specific memory.
specific
That's
memory.
why if you learn something when you're drunk and you forget it, you get drunk again and remember it.
I've been there.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I've been there. I'll be able to tell you for sure.
So yeah, encourage them to learn their script in different places. Encourage them to learn their script, go through their script with different friends. Okay, we're paying them $700 to learn. Like that should be the only thing that they're focused on.
Which brings me to the last thing that I wanted to make sure and hit hard. I don't know if it's on this paper or not,
It
but
is.
once someone gets that script in their hands, everything else gets turned off in life. Everything. They don't turn that radio on. They don't hear one more song. They don't turn that TV on, watch one more TV show. They don't get on the internet and watch any more porn. They don't do anything. For real. Throw it out there like, hey, don't do any of this stuff. Don't say that. I'm just giving you guys the issues. You know, it's not about Googling things all night, playing around. And that's why these time crunches and these days and all these things are so important. So if you put it to these people this way, because all you're doing is infecting the mind with 5 billion other things that have nothing to do with what's going on right then. And what's going on right then is to memorize that script and get into training, which is why I can memorize and you can memorize on a dime, because when we have to do something, we have to do it. I know if I have to memorize something, I'm not listening to the radio and watching TV and Googling things on the internet. I'm not doing that. Why? Because I have a task at hand, and that's the only task that's important. Statistics show when you have all these other things coming in your mind from all these other different places, your mind is not able to process. It's not. It's now formulating that TV or that song, and it's putting all those other things. Whereas instead of listening to the radio or a song, what are you listening to? The script. You're listening to something. Because if you're not, you're memorizing that song.
That's true.
It really is. It really is. So just Know that, and it's almost like a reward in itself. Hey, when I get this stuff all done, I can go back to my normal life of listening to the radio and goofing around and having a good time with all my friends, type thing. But right now, yeah, you just got hired to do a job. And this is your job to memorize the script. If you can't memorize the script, you can't start your job. So it's that important to tell them to turn everything else off.
Kinetic memory. The thing that helped me when I was with Chad a lot was that for myself, I like to say things to myself. I got to hear it audibly, but as I do it, I need to kinetically do it. So if you set 7 different foods in front of them, and actually they can remember the skill by actually reaching for those different foods. You got to remember the body's going to remember in that
And
state.
that's during training, and that's awesome, Alvin.
Definitely.
There's also
stage.
there's also quite a correlation rather between cabbage and pornography. To get into Chad's point. Yeah, I should get a chip for that.
We'll talk about that later.
Hey, it's the
I don't
number
know
one
the
thing
big chip
people
food,
do on the
sorry.
internet according to statistics. It's the number one thing. Look it up, cabbage. Pornography is the number one thing looked for on the internet now.
You're talking about putting up videos and handling videos, and
It's all gonna happen.
are we also considering doing audio formats?
Absolutely.
Scripts?
Yeah, audiobooks. You can listen to them in your car. We're getting there.
Like nonstop on the
Start with the
overnight
essentials.
So,
Everybody's got an average of an hour to get to work. I mean, ish.
Yeah.
So might as well listen to Peter or Rick or me or someone else for 30 minutes of their time. Learn something right before they get to this shit.
We'll have them in all different places, so you can just pick who you want to listen to that day.
And you got to do my Christopher Walken voice.
Chad be like, backed up by waves. Like,
I want to listen to Rick.
Peter can be like backed up by trains. He can be backed up by waves.
One white noise.
So guys, outlining the script for the trainee. Here's a big one. Here's a big one. Explaining the deadline and memorization. We have been so lax about this, and it makes me sick. Because at the end of the day, the reason why we were lax about it is because most of us already knew the scripts. So we're just like, yeah, memorize your script, get $700. I don't know, that's what they did. But at the end of the day, this company said you got a week to memorize the script. If you don't do it in a week, it's taken away from you. And we're not taking it away from people. We're like, oh, you sort of knew it, and then you kind of learned it, and now you almost got it. So put that script memorization bonus on there, buddy. Like, you did sort of okay, not awful. No. We're going to pay you to do a job. The second we call you to hire, and you're hired, and you accept the position with TT, and you get your paperwork in, and you're not a felon, you're going to get a script.
No, if you're a felon, you get the script.
Oh.
But we'll find out you're a felon 2 weeks later. I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to make sure everybody knows that. I mean, we go by what they say on their application. If they lie, that's when they're terminated.
So even if you are a felon, you're still going to get your script. and that is your first day of work until you get fired 2 weeks later for being a felon. Unless you start grossing, in which case you don't really care that you're a felon as long as you don't do anything else.
Or we'll put you on the road for 5 weeks in a hotel.
Oh, what?
Okay, seriously though, guys. The moral of the story here is we need to create these deadlines. We need to say, look, there's a lot of money on the table right now. There's a lot of money on the table right now to do one thing. Just memorize the script. And a lot of us come from a culture where that wasn't the case. Where it was just like, just memorize your stuff and shut up. You know? But here, we have this huge incentive bonus, and we're not doing anything positive with it. We're just sitting on it and then giving it to them whenever the heck they get it. Now it's time to say, you know what, if we have this tool, that's this awesome freaking tool, let's use it. Let's use it. If these were real chips, and I had 7 of them, and I said, who can memorize 3.5 pages of War and Peace for these 7 chips? That's War and Peace, guys. That's some crap. And you're all like, yep, I'll do it. I'll memorize War and Peace for $700 right now. I don't care. I'll memorize Moby Dick. I don't care what it is. What obnoxious English lit book you want me to memorize? I'll memorize Dostoevsky for $700.
In Chinese.
In Chinese. Okay. So my point is, and we're all, we're all in pretty good, healthy financial positions at this point, and we're still like, oh, so let's take average Joe Schmo who doesn't have a job, who's coming to us for work, bank account probably not looking so pretty. You don't got no work.
That's why we pay for gas and food. Every single person that starts is almost flat broke when they walk in the door.
And we're like, we're gonna give you $700 just to memorize this. Go ahead and do that. And they're like, okay, but you gotta hold them accountable for it now. You can't just be like, okay, here's your advance, here's your sign-on bonus. It's not a sign-on bonus. It's a bonus to memorize the damn script. You got 7 days to do it. Which means, if you call to hire on Friday, and they're starting the following Monday, by the time they get on Monday, they better be solid. And you better be calling them and checking them and saying, hey, this is day 4, where are you on your script? I just want you to know, like I know sometimes we lose track of time, we're on day 4 right now, so you got 3 more days and 700 on the line. I'm trying to take care of you. Because this company is serious about this, and they will revoke the bonus if you are not memorized. And I know you're starting training on a date that is past your time.
Right.
Meaning you got to come in with that thing ready to go on Monday. So if you don't come in with that thing ready to go on Monday, you've lapsed your time. There's no way to get that money back. You just lose it. And if you pitch it to them like that, if that's the way you're talking to them on the phone, these people are going to be like, holy shit, like, I got $700 in prepaid. They're going to spend all night memorizing that thing. They're going to make sure that thing is perfect. You're going to see them on Monday and they're going to be like, I got everything memorized. I got every single word. Every single one.
High strung, right?
See, watch. I can do it. The spiral slicer, you spin it like this and then look, it's wonderful. Isn't that fantastic? Isn't that right? Is that right? Is that right? Oh yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. Let's go to the turn. How's that looking? Oh, I know that one too. You want one, you want one, you want one. I remember those. You want one here, and then you say the fillet knife. There's 2, you want one there.
I did that I did that with old company because you said if you show up the first day and you don't have your script memorized, you're
Sending
fired.
you home. That's exactly what
And
I said.
I went crazy memorizing that thing.
And you're sitting in this room right now, A, but B, most of the trainees that went through with me were coming in with their stuff mostly memorized because I was just telling them right off the rip, guys, if you don't come memorize, I'm just going to send you home. You lost your job. Like, you have your job right now, but if you don't memorize, you lost your job. Here, we have one even better. We're not even like being threatening or negative or rude like that. Here we get to say, we're going to give you $700 just to memorize this script, and I want you to make that $700 so bad, but don't be wary because these guys don't play. Like, they're giving you 7 days, $100 a day, just to memorize the script, no matter how long it takes. See what I'm getting at?
Mm-hmm.
So, boom, 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 boom. And if we're streamlining it anyway, they've got to know the importance of this memorization. Because every single person in this room knows that if they don't go in with if they don't have their script memorized by the end of week 1, well, let's play real talk now. Let's not talk about what we're telling the trainees. Real talk is, if you don't got your stuff together by the end of week 1, by the end of like day 5-ish, let's say, if you're not up doing pitches and saying the words that we have in the script properly, you probably ain't gonna make it. Because we got a lot of other stuff to teach you in between days 5 and 10 that we can't wait around for you to figure out how to say this or how to get that in your head.
People that don't get it the first week don't last.
It's just a waste of our time and a waste of our money. And you know what? This company's putting a lot of money on the line to train each person. And we have to be respectful of that.
$2,000 plus on average, and that's no big number. You guys see that? You know, I've got alone $300+ in food, at another $100+
Hotel?
in gas, hotels, some of them
Airfare?
airfares, rental cars. You know, the
And then
list goes
us as
on
the
and on.
trainers.
I was gonna say, I know too many.
And then us losing pitches as the trainers and giving pitches to people who've never done it before and letting them fart on 20 people tips.
Which is why you are
Okay.
pushing from the beginning to the end.
Let's be honest.
This is a 6-figure job. You know, I worked for
them
it for a long
put
time.
20 people in front of them and then they like do something stupid and they welcome in to gather and 20 people are like this far away from the counter and stand right up to the counter the way you know you could do it in a heartbeat and you're just sitting there shaking your head going, oh, no, don't these I'm not your fun pool. Like, at least I'm doing that in the side. I'm like, okay, like Jesus. Like, so you've got to understand that there's so much money being lost on a new trainee that we need to be more critical about how we treat their training process. That doesn't mean be mean on them, mean to them. That just means be real. Like, this is a real serious company. We're asking you to do very simple things. Learn your script, we'll take care of the rest. If you've been selected for this position, if you learn your script, we can take care of the rest.
Yeah, consider yourself a 6-figure income earner for this year.
The big
you
line
memorize
that
this-
everybody in this room knows is the good news
There's always
is,
good
is,
news.
is, there's always good news, is I can teach anybody how to do this job.
Yep.
The bad news is that I can teach anybody how to do this job.
Oh.
You've all said it.
I've never said it.
Oh, well,
Oh, you
now
should.
know.
I like it.
I've never heard it before, sorry, I will.
The good news is I can teach anybody how to do this job. The bad news is I can teach anybody how to do this job. Like, I want you to succeed, but you're also expendable. Come in with your script memorized. This is no BS. And this, and
That wasn't
oh,
so
it's
wrong.
fine. It's okay, honey.
Thank you.
Oh.
I'm just playing.
I'm just trying to make sure I understand. So say you call them on Friday, which means they're gonna go to training in 2 Mondays from now, right? In 12 days.
No, you gotta understand, this is their call to hire, yes.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so then, do I meet with them
In
on?
2 days? No, they're starting in 12 days.
12, I said 12 days.
Oh, okay,
But
sorry.
you've also got to look at the Friday. They may not get all their paperwork in and get their script until
On
Monday.
Monday.
So then they only have
Okay,
really
say
7
they're
days.
superstars, they get it in Saturday, they get their script, and so do I meet with them before their Monday training to make sure
Not
that they know?
necessarily, but here's the thing.
Because then they actually have 9 days.
Here's the
and then-
thing. Sure. However,
Whatever.
9 days out of the store versus 3 days out of the store and 4 days in the store. I would take that scenario any day of the week.
Sure.
The 9 days is your cue as the trainer to call them and be like, hey, just so you know, your time to memorize this script is going to lapse before you show up to first day of training with me. So that thing's really got to be tight. Otherwise, I will not be able to pay you your memorization bonus.
So I just want to make sure I don't, it's not, like I don't meet with them in advance of the Monday. to
No,
make sure
no,
they
no, no.
tell
The
me.
incentive, here's the thing, guys. The incentive is not like actual, like it needs to be done in 7 days. What I'm trying to say here is we've been lax on the incentive because we're not thinking the right way. And now if we think the right way, we can use the incentive as the springboard tool to get these people excited, motivated to learn their scripts when you need them to have their scripts down. I want my trainee to show up on the first day of training with their script memorized.
Because I did meet
And-
my trainer before the training and recited it to her, she gave me $50 bonus or
That's
whatever with the other company.
that's different.
No,
That's
but
something
so
totally
that-
different.
yeah,
But
so
I,
it-
that was a race incentive.
But
This
if you're
is
in
a
a
race
market,
incentive.
let's not BS. If you're in a market and your person is in the market, you tell them to come to the store and recite that script to you.
Yep.
That's a touch point, that's a turn point, and that's a seal up a new employee point.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you are correct with your thinking, Mary.
Come in and watch
Oh,
me
we're-
hand the money.
No. And it's still going to be once, it's still going to be every 7, like, it's $100 a week for 7 weeks, right?
Yes,
It's
yes.
Not like, yeah, okay.
But the moral of the story here is you start your job when you get that script. We're gonna pay you $700 to memorize that script. It's $100 a day over the course of 7 days. That's before you even walk in the door. But if you don't memorize it, you lose the money.
And you gotta memorize it anyway to do the job, so why lose the money?
Right.
Does that make sense?
But use this incentive as a tool is the point I'm trying to get at. It needs to be used as your strongest tool to motivate and incite the fire that gets your trainees to go, I'm gonna learn this script right now. Like, I'm not going to sleep until this is in my head. Because those are the trainees that come in excited, and those are the trainees that stick. Because they put in the 14 hours to memorize the 3.5 pages, and they're like, I already went through all this trouble to learn the script, might as well make sure I'm good at it. And if they sit like this and think that for 2 weeks, by the end of that 2 weeks, everybody in this room is talented enough to get somebody to the point where they're like, oh my God, I think I might actually be able to do this. And then a month later, they're like, I can do this. I did a 5-piece turn. I made $35 in 15 minutes. I am awesome at this now. And then a month later, they're like, I did a 10-piece turn. $70 in 15 minutes. Oh my goodness. And then after that, it's history. After that, you know how it happens then. Then they're sitting in this room. 6 months later. 6 months later.
Come to Vegas.
You see what I mean though? But that whole process that I just described starts with, even with someone who's weak, who doesn't have a lot of natural talent. It starts with, I'm gonna learn this script, it's fine, get that there. And we got $700 to say, go and do that. So that all of those trainees take that progression. And if all those trainees are taking that progression, this company's gonna blow up. It's just gonna explode. So Scripto is scheduled on the call to hire. On the call to hire, you will schedule a Scripto. So if you are making the call to hire right now, schedule a time with your trainee using a rough idea of your call to hire script, or augmenting it how you need to, that one little section.
And when should they set that up?
Yeah.
Because
Right.
they need their script to do
Like,
the script.
that's absolutely right. So, and how long should it take them to get their paperwork?
24 hours.
Okay, so what?
I should be sure.
So how many do you think it should be? 48 hours. That's absolutely correct, Hadas.
36
Hey, Smith, how you doing?
hours.
48 hours from the time of call to hire and we're doing the
Yeah.
project.
It's like Mardi Gras in here.
Information.
Don't
tell me that, Chad, you like to see my chest.
Yeah. So let's talk about this for a second. So you're gonna make a call to hire, or you made the call to hire, and you're gonna schedule the script out. All right. This script that we wrote out is the skeleton that you should follow. But when giving people, like, hey, so I'd like to just have script orientation with you, just to kind of go over your script and an understanding of it real quick. I'm going to be available Monday at 5 p.m. or Tuesday at 5 p.m. Which day works better for you? Or I'm going to be available if you're trying to really, depending on what this is, if they have 12 days, that's okay. If you're on the short stack of this, if you're on the Thursday call, I'd be like, look, this is going through pretty quick. I have time Saturday in the afternoon or the evening, which works better for you? And then if they're like afternoon, you're like, great, 3 or 4, which one works better for you? It's evening, great, 7 or 8, which one works better for you? You see what I'm getting at? Make sure that you funnel them in with options. You don't say, does this work for you this one time? No? Oh, okay, well, hold on. Does this one time work for you? No? Oh, okay, well, can we maybe do it tomorrow? Oh, could we maybe do it this way? No? Okay.
I thought we weren't doing the script though, so it's like a.
Yeah, until we establish it on a national level. Because when it's on a national level, the call is going to be, these are the 2 times you have available this week. Or worse, this is the one time it's happening. Open your schedule. That's it. Between now and the day you go into training, this is the day of your script out.
Let me just ask you.
Or you could do, write it down please. Or you could do a personal script if the national one doesn't coincide. Does that make sense? Which is why we're going over this right now as well. If the national one doesn't coincide, you're all welcome to do a personal script, which is why we're going over it right now. But the point is, if you don't get these trainees comfortable with the idea of memorizing their script, they will give up on it and they will drop. It's already been proven. It's already there. So we need to get rid of that objection. Do you understand that that's an objection to this job? To the turn on they're going to be the best TT employees in the universe? One of the objections to that turn is I'm incapable of memorizing the script. So in short, script orientation removes that objection from them by breaking the script down, making it something that is tangible, making it something that they are comfortable with, and putting a whole ton of money in their pocket for doing it. You see that one?
Yeah.
Right. Mr. Coffey, I think they're up.